Shout out to all content creators. Y'all deserve that money because this ain't easy at all.
So we just talk for maybe an hour and 40 minutes, and we only recorded 30 minutes. And what's so funny, we only catch a part where the conversation I warm up and the nicer part get cut. So I just want to think that we live and we learn.
That's
so
fun.
we talk about you getting into the banking job, you learning a couple of lessons, and now you decided to part ways with the bank. You needed some space, you needed some time to work on you and recent and find something that is within the field that you love, right? So walk me through what that process was like, you getting used to the hustle and bustle of New York, going to work, all that stress which you've learned how to deal with, and now you're home. Like, how do you deal with that change? Because that was like, even though you initiated it, it's like the flip of a coin and it's new again. You have to get acclimatized. So what was that process like?
So it was slow at first, coming out of the mindset to just go, and just staying home, spending more time with my family. Oh God, it has given me time to spend with them. I'm dying to go out again. I'm tired of them now. But to be honest, it was it gave me the time that I needed to pay attention to what I really want to do, right? And for me, that is when I looked into going to school again, or I ended up looking into life coaching because I know that I like to talk, right? And I was like, okay, why not use this that you have, like talking? And I ended up looking into life coaching, and I chose a age group that I would speak to, because within that age group growing up, that would be the age group that I would want someone to talk to me.
Okay.
Right? So I chose age 12 to 19.
Okay, so
Girls.
You're
mainly
basically looking into becoming a mentor. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a new venture that I am working on. It's called Soft Talk. It's Soft Talk for girls. And it is going to be about empowering young girls navigating through your teenage years into adulthood, what to expect, what not to expect, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, just help them to grow.
You know, what's important about what you just said is what not to expect. Because even as males, I think that growing up, sometimes we have expectations of certain things based on what we would have seen growing up, whether it is on TV or in our neighborhood or in our household. So that also is important. Why Soft Talk?
The name? Okay, so I chose the name because I wanted it to come off as gentle. It's still a conversation with them. And I knew I wanted to talk. I wanted to have the word talk in there, and I was just like using AI a lot to like give me ideas and so forth. And then I came up with soft in front of the talk, and I was like, So I even asked the AI, like, what do you think about the word soft talk? You know, I'm out here talking to the AI like it's a person.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's great. That like goes with the mission that you have. And, you know, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I never wanted something that's too long. I wanted it to be
to the point.
To the point.
And what I can tell you is just hearing it almost feels familiar. It almost feels like something I've heard before, something that I want to hear about.
Yeah, so that is the venture that I want to go off in as well, differently from going back into immigration, because it's so different. It's like one's so hardcore, and then
one is soft.
One is soft.
Yeah, no pun intended.
But you know, like yeah, I want to do it. I did a lot of research in schools. I know, like, speaking with guidance counselors over there, I want to eventually spread it out to here, seeing that I went to an all-girls school.
Woman on a mission.
Yeah.
The school, man.
Later, plan if I'm going to launch it here, I hope to launch it at my alma mater. Alpha, big up yourself.
Big up Alpha.
Big up Alpha, but yeah, eventually. So that is, the long-term plan for that.
Okay. So tell me something, right? And I don't want to go too far back, but how did your family react to you leaving, friends and family react to you leaving a quote-unquote big job? You were working in the bank. How did these people react to your decision? Because it's just the American dream, moving to the United States and getting a job in a major corporation.
So my family and I are really close knitted, right? So they know the behind the scenes of the corporate job, right? My mom, she knew that I hated this job. She knew how I felt about the job and whatever. And I remember when I just started taking customers, I went home every day and I was like, I'm not going back. Like for a week straight, I was like, I hate this place. I told my friends every day that I hated this job. And my friends were like so shocked because I've done multiple jobs and they have never heard me like just eat or work, right? And when I called my mom the day and I told her like what happened and so forth, I'm like, I don't think I'm coming back. And she said, that's okay. Like that's all she said, right? And when I went home and I told her about explain everything and whatever, she said, okay. You're not suffer. That's exactly what she said, right? And like right then and there, like in my head, I'm like, she knew like how much this is taking a toll on me, because usually she would be like, you sure think about that, or
but too much time you say it.
She's like,
I should probably notice the changes.
Because now my mom would like just randomly come in my room and talk to me. Before, when I was going to work, like, she see me, I come home, evening, I'm going to my room. And she not think for come bother me.
Because she know you're tired.
Like, she just know say, you're tired, you're getting in the mood, you don't want to hear no talking, like, you're fine. Like, she just want to say, me alive. And that's it. Like, but now, like, she will come in my room and, me and her, we do Bible study together at night time.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? So we talk. Okay. So, all right. So when I just went to the States and I got my job in banking, right? People said to me, oh my God, you're so lucky that you just came here from Jamaica into a corporate job like this, right? And like that got me thinking, because I was like, what do you mean lucky? Because I do interview, the job was open, like whatever. When we recognize with a lot of our fellow Jamaicans that come overseas, you see, they come there and they automatically assume that they can't get one of those jobs. So they just apply for like regular retail jobs. Me not apply for no retail work. The whole time, from me got foreign, I be a big work me apply for. First
Quote
of all,
unquote.
big work, yeah. First of all, me in Jamaica, me not do them something them.
Yeah.
What make my foreign come do it for?
And I mean, you spend all this time going through school,
Exactly.
getting work experience, and you're there in Jamaica in a good job and you got good experience there, and I think that transcends over.
Exactly. It's transferable skills.
Yeah, tell me, say. Because I was kind of getting a hint of that, So you're telling me that sky's the limit when you got foreign?
Of course. Definitely. Like, it's up to you what you got foreign to do.
So you're saying that a lot of Jamaicans get trapped in a particular mindset because you're in such a big space and there's so much going on, and probably you don't see your fellow Jamaicans in a top-notch post.
They get comfortable. Probably like the home health care, health aid whatever. That one you don't really need to go to school for. You just take care of an old person, right? Or you go work at one of the fast food chain them as cashier, and then them probably eventually did it for so much years. Them say them give you a managerial post, and you feel like say, oh,
that's it.
me reach because you're a manager.
So,
but you can do more.
How about personally, like your mindset, like what did that time and space do for you? Like, did you notice anything about yourself? Did you notice any change since you started or since you got to the United States versus to that point where you're now slowing down? Like, what did you notice about yourself?
That I adapt to whatever environment I'm in, to be honest. Because when I was working, I turned the typical New Yorker, just going, not paying attention to like what's going on with me. Just get up in the morning, get ready for work, come home, go to the gym, come home, cool, whatever.
On the hamster wheel, eh?
On the hamster wheel. And now that I made a decision to stop and take a minute to just pay attention, I recognize like I was missing things at home too. Even for like my cousin, I miss a lot of things for her. Like she get awards and I miss everything, right? And I can imagine, like, you know, we were talking about this the other day, like what it's like for parents who have to do that and raise a family in that type of environment. You miss a lot of the first things.
There's no raising the family. The family is
just
growing.
raising. Exactly, it's just growing. So having to stop and, you know, recognize that for me personally, that's something that I was like, oh my God, like I was missing these things. I wasn't, you know, paying attention to these things. And I didn't recognize how aggressive I was too. I think it made me a lot more aggressive. Like I deemed myself as like, you know, aggressive person prior, but like going to New York.
Aggressive, like break down aggressive for me.
All right. Like in terms of how I speak, let's use not like aggressive that might fight people.
Yeah.
No, but probably in the way in which I speak, I was probably my actions of my time, because I would be like really Jamaican in the United States, like on the train.
No, hold on. When you say really Jamaican, listen.
Push them out of the way. Them something there, you know. But being home, I can genuinely say I have, you know, gotten a little bit calmer. I have more time to like sit and just enjoy my own company, pay attention to what needs to be done, what I have control over, what I don't have control over.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned just that hustle and bustle always seeming to be on the hamster wheel. Like, I can just imagine that would come with some amount of anxiety, wouldn't it?
It definitely did. Definitely, for sure. Like, and I think that's why in the United States so many people suffer from like depression and anxiety. It's a lot. It's constant worry. So that is where it brought me to where I'm at right now with my whole spiritual journey.
As you mentioned, spiritual journey. Show the people in your shirt.
My shirt said, "God is good all the time," and all the time God is good. Yeah, we're gonna.
Where'd you get that shirt?
I bought it in Rainbow.
Okay.
Rainbow shops. Cheap and clean.
That's cool, man. Probably need to do something like that, no? Yeah, so tell me about your journey.
It's been great so far. So the start of the journey, well, it all started with the whole anxiety. You know, you're at home, you're in your head. You finally get the time for just sit down. Even though you slow down, you're starting to recognize, okay, but I still have this to do. It's like life is going, but you're stuck. So that anxiety starts creeping up on you now.
Say that again. Life
is going, but you're stuck.
Or the perception.
You feel stuck, right?
Yeah.
Let's use that. You feel stuck. Because truth is, you're going with the life too, whether you want to accept it or not.
Yeah.
But you feel like you're stuck. And that's where I felt like I was stuck. So that's when that little, you know, like anxiety man did just start crawling, like, girl, you're not doing enough. You need to figure this out or whatever.
So how did you?
And I use AI for everything. Like religiously, like I legit turn off my brain and just depend on AI. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really bad. Like, I will find myself just going on AI for the most random things. And then I remember I bought my Bible. I bought a Bible from TikTok because, you know, at the time TikTok used to influence you for everything. So I bought this Bible on TikTok, and every time I open the Bible, I said, I don't understand this, so I'm lock it back. That's it. And then one day, out of nowhere, after having this whole anxiety and whatever, it's like a mind just told me, why don't you just use AI to help you to understand your Bible? And I was like, okay, fine. And I wrote the whole prompt for the AI thing with the Bible. And ever since, I've been reading my Bible. If I get stuck, I use the AI to help me. I do understand it way more now. Sometimes the Bible's really dramatic too. I'm like, my out here try to catch people mix up. The Bible full of mix up. But yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the first books that you would have read, and what would have stood out to you for you to really, you know, start following these gospels and leaning on your faith, or what? And also, to the end of that, like, how did that affect your mindset?
Yeah, so I even use AI to like tell me like, how do I study my Bible, right? And the AI was like, read the 4 Gospels first. So that's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So I started with reading that. I started reading Matthew first, and in reading that, there was a specific verse that stood out to me based on everything that I was going through and the constant worry and everything. It was Matthew 6, verse 33, that says, first seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and these things will be added to you. And basically what it was saying is that God provides for even the animals. He provides the tree. He provides rain for the tree them outside. Them a flourish. Animal a eat. Why you think say him not gonna provide for you? Like, why you constantly worrying? It's like, do not worry about these things, right? And that was the verse that stood out to me more than anything else. I've read multiple other things, and that's the one that has stood out to me a lot, even now. And that has changed my mindset about like worrying. It has given me like a whole different peace that I never even thought I needed, because I thought I was good. Like sometimes it's like in my head I'm not worrying, but it's like your subconscious mind is still worrying. I'm just there resting. I'm there. I try to sleep. I can't sleep. But in my head, I'm not stressed out. I'm not worried about nothing.
Okay. So you're now on this journey. You found a level of peace, and you're working on this new venture, but you're still unemployed.
Yeah.
Right? So what's your plan going forward?
You know, you still have to do your part. That's what I think a lot of people don't recognize. Even though you're trusting God and you're, you know, expecting him to do his part, you still have your part to do. You're not just no one's gonna just walk up and say, hey, you need this job, let me give you this job. I still have to apply for the jobs, right? I've gotten to a part where I pray to God for discernment. You know, I'm like, hey, I don't want you to give me anything that I want if that is not your will for me. That's how I start praying, because sometimes what we want for ourselves, it ain't never gonna work out. Like it just not gonna ever work out, because I know that God have planned for you. And one of the most powerful things I've noticed, that God gives us choices. He's gonna give you that shiny object, but trust me, the consequences of that shiny object there, you don't want it. Sometimes I better just take the dull object over here, saying, okay, you know, say that's the right thing for you to choose, but because it's shiny and it's pretty, you just run go get it. I'm like, But you know, like I still do my part, you know, like apply for jobs daily and all of that. To be honest, I stopped working when, I think it was October, I stopped working, yeah, around that time. And the only bill that I had was like my credit card bill. right? No one knew that I had that credit card bill. And since I stopped working, I used to worry about it. I was like, oh my God, I pay the credit card bill. Because when I left my job, I really just left it in a way where I never think more nothing. Just up and go. And when I tell you, every month since then, my credit card bill has been paid. Sometimes, like, it paid the day before the due date. Like, I don't know where the money come. I don't know where the money I gonna come from or whatever. But like, it end up get paid. Sometimes, like, even my mother would just randomly send me money, like right before the credit card bill due, and I'm like, why would you send me money? I don't want to.
Should I get the bill in our mail or something?
like, are you getting signs?
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, but just feel like that. And I'm like, this is so weird, you know, like to me. And then I said, hey, that's God's way of, like, you know, showing you that, hey, I'm taking care of you. Just continue doing what you're doing, trust in me, you know, read your word. And that is just what I've been learning. And, you know, honestly, what I've also learned is that your mind is like soil. You have to feed your mind with good things. Before, I used to feed my mind with a lot of negative things. I'll be like, well, now I get that job this, so you're not apply feed. You know, like, that used to be how I used to think about it.
And men are trash.
Men are trash. Yes, me used to feed my mind on them. Some of the song them were done, man. Listen to them 24/7. But, you know, like, now I'm doing better with even that. You know, I'm trying.
I'm happy for you on this new journey. Speaking of men. Yo, you used to burn out, man, wicked, you know?
Listen.
Wicked.
Every day.
Have you been dating in the States?
I did for a short period of time.
How would you compare dating in the States in comparison to Jamaica?
American men are quite special. I can tell you that. Like, them just different. Them completely different from Jamaican men. The issue that I had with the American men is I don't think they want women to elevate a certain way. But they still require women to submit to them. But in submitting to them, we're not supposed to have anything for ourselves like that. Like, you're not supposed to, like, be too educated. Like, you're not supposed to be, like, you have your own money, have a good job. And that's just very weird to me, because, like, living here, as bad as thing maybe we feel like Jamaican man always want them woman to have, like, you know, the best of the best. Like, why not? If it not affect your relationship, I don't think Jamaican men care about stuff like that. Well, I don't know, you know, the ones that I've come across so far, I don't think I've met a man who, like, had a problem with the fact that I had a good job or I went to school.
So that come off kind of weird to me though. Like, break that down for me. Like, what you mean, say the man don't want you elevate?
So, with this specific person that I was talking to, there was this meme on Instagram, right? And it was like women who are, like, highly educated or have certain jobs, they're red flags. Run for your life. That's basically what it said.
Okay.
Right? So I brought it to his attention because I was like, I want to know, like, what are your views on something like this?
Telephone thing mash up my life. Anyways, carry on.
Like, what is your view on something like this? And he was like, yeah, he agrees. Yeah. So at this point, I'm triggered because what do you mean by you agree? Yeah. Right? But then I say,
why?
No,
Why are you triggered?
because you
fit that profile.
Yeah, I feel like because it said high valued women who have their high education and have a good job. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I would like to classify myself as someone who's, like, highly educated, have a good job and whatever. So like, why do you agree that we're red flags? So no, it reached a point where I'm asking, right? Instead of getting upset, you know, it triggered me, but I didn't get so. I asked. I was like, okay, I need you to explain why you agree with this. And he's like, because women don't need men. Women like that don't need men. Like, what do you need a man for if you're, you know, a woman like that? And I'm like, but that doesn't make no sense. Because
So you never answer that question though.
which question you asked me?
Like, why do women like that need men?
What do you mean? For same companionship and all
No,
of that?
you're answering no. So
am I
I'm saying,
no?
why didn't you just respond and actually give him an answer? Because he's asking a question. Basically, he's saying, yo, I don't think women like that typically need a man to provide. But personally, I think that men, we serve such a wide purpose in a woman's life. You get what I'm saying? It's not just providing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money you have. I'm probably a protector, right? I'm a shoulder to lean on. I'm your companion. And you get what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of things. So, anyways, carry on. I hear your story. DJ SNMG.
So, anyways, as we say, like, it was like that. It was just a conversation because all of this was through text, right?
Red flags. Next, people, if we don't have an argument with a spouse, call or meet up here. Text something there, mash up relationship. Well, I know. Yeah, you said dated for a short period of time. That answers my question. Moving right along.
He's trying to shut at me, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had the whole conversation with, like, you know, going back and forth through text and whatever. And then he was like, oh, women don't want, you can't submit to a man when you have all of them, some of them.
Okay.
So I was like, how does that affect me submitting to you?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't affect me submitting to a man.
Yeah.
Like, me know as a woman that the truth is, as women, we want to be the, you know, strong, independent women, which we can be.
But why? Why do you think that is, though?
No?
That more women want to be strong and independent?
Because the men are not really giving you anything to depend on.
You just took a shot again. Well, yeah, carry on.
It's true.
There's
like,
some truth there.
There's
some men.
Some men.
Let's say some.
Like, right?
Let's not
but majority of the women who have that, you know, going on with them right now, if you ask them about the previous relationships that they've been in, the men that they were with, they never gave them a reason to, like, you know, be submissive like that. It's always like a wishy-washy thing. I'm sorry, but, you know, like, they had to be, let's say they had to, like, what, switch the rule? I don't want to say switch the rules.
Wear the pants a little bit.
Them, exactly.
Yeah.
And then me personally, if I find myself being the one to, like, wear the pants a little bit, you get comfortable with that. As a woman, you get comfortable with the fact that, all right, I no longer have to lean on you. I'm good on my own. And then
so that leads to the same situation that he's describing. So from what I'm getting from what you're saying is these things happen because men don't play their role.
They're not playing their role.
And me say so.
Me say so. Them not play for them role. But then you have men out there who do it. And as women, we have to recognize that not all men are the same. Now, that is where I'm learning, because I can take accountability for my part. I never gave every man that I dated that opportunity. I always went in headstrong, like, me, but depend on me, whatever.
Yeah.
So when you get a man who wants to do everything or do that part, you don't know what to do.
As a woman?
As a woman, you no longer know how to just stop and allow this man to just do what he's doing. That's why some women, the relationship, them still a fail.
Me have this saying, I say, every river need a bank, right? Just think about what a river would be if it never have the banks to hold it in that channel. You'll literally be flooding out people's yard, people farm all about, right?
Yeah.
I use that analogy to say, in relationships, you need to be my bank and I need to be yours, right? So what that means is, if if you meet somebody and they have like, for example, 60-70% of the good traits that you'd be comfortable with, right? If it is that you see that they're lacking in a department, the mature thing to do, in my humble opinion, would be saying, hey, you know, this is the situation, or this is how your actions are affecting me, and this is the direction that it's pushing me in.
Yeah.
I don't like that, or I feel uncomfortable about that. Is that something that we can work through, or we can work on together?
Fair.
So it's one thing to throw it out there, hey, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
And trigger that person and let them feel attacked. There's another way to say, oh, listen, when you do this, it makes me feel that way, this particular way. How can we work on it? And the tough thing about a conversation like that is, you're not to do it. Like, it's almost like, hey, you are doing something that is hurting me. I really don't have no business to try to help you do the right thing.
Yeah. I'm not.
It's like you going above and beyond to fix the situation. So a lot of people goodly pray that, like, yo, me I suck up.
Yeah.
Right? Versus, in my humble opinion, again, that's the mature thing to do. Yeah. Because you're now being the bank for that person. You're saying, hey, you're coming a bit too. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Definitely. You need to work on this thing. I'm here for you because I want you to work on this thing so that we can be better.
Work.
You get what I'm saying?
So we can work.
So
I'm gonna say, I don't know if it's a woman thing, but for me, like, if a man approaches me like that, now I'll be more receptive of it, right? Before
is when you say approaches you, like how?
Like what you just said, like to come to me and say, hey, like, this is how you're coming off to me, and so forth. Like, now I'll be more like, oh, probably I really came off, and he felt this way for real. Before, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, I'm not really care, I never that but mean. You know?
So it's almost like, yo, you're responsible for your perception of
exactly.
it. I don't have but communication in my understanding of it is, it's not just me talking to you, it's me. Just imagine you only speak English and me speak Spanish. I speak Spanish and English, but me I talk to you in a Spanish, knowing you only speak English.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I have the choice to break it down and come to you in English so that you can receive that information, and then we can proceed with the conversation. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And I think this is where relationships get lost. Yeah. Because it's like, we don't take the time to ensure that the next person is getting the message, and the person on the other side is too triggered to, adapt so that they can receive the message. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what happened with the past relationship that I was in. Like, I thought it was just a conversation.
But deeper than that.
But it was deeper than that until the person made it clear. He was like, oh, hey, by the way, I didn't like how the conversation went earlier. I was like, okay, fine. And then it went to the part like, oh, well, I think we should go our separate ways. And then I'm like, okay. And then he's like, oh, that's it. I'm like, yeah.
It sounded like it was a test.
Exactly. Don't try to test me. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. If you want to test somebody, go to school. Okay. Like, why you want? Don't test me. It's like you want me to chase you. I'm not chasing you. I think we're all grown enough to know, like, if this is what you want and this is what we both want, then fine. But if you don't want that, and come with test, make a fail the test every time. Out of school, make a fail the test. Like, that is, when I feel like it's supposed to test me.
Yo, this relationship and dating thing, it's tough.
It is, but you have to, I think you have to want it. Both of you have to equally want it.
That is it.
For it to work.
That is it. And sometimes it's not equal to, Sometimes it's not equal. Sometimes you want the person more than the person want you. and vice versa. It varies, but I'd say it has to come down to, do you really care about this person?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because they're gonna do stuff that will push your button, that will trigger you.
Of course.
And vice versa. Right? And you have to look at it and say, do I value this person's company? Like there are a lot of persons that are together but don't enjoy their company.
You hate each other.
Even if them not hate each other, like everything triggers each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna marry someone that we can just like be chilling somewhere and just sit up and look at each other and know exactly what we're thinking about. Like,
yeah,
I enjoy my wife's company so much. Like, so much. Like, we don't have to talk to know what we think about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we just look at each other sometime and bust out a laugh because it's like, it's connected. Kinetic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That is how it should be. But out here, you know, everybody say, oh, the dating pool are pissing at it. And that's what
because...
saying. The one are not pissing at it.
Ah, there we go.
That's why.
Oh, that sound effect came off wrong, but...
That's why. Like...
Yeah, because...
You guys are messing it up.
Everybody have a role to play.
Exactly.
So, you know, we just have to be more accountable.
Yeah.
And, you know, Michael Jackson say, you might talk to a man in a mirror. Sometimes we need to talk to a man or a woman in the mirror and be change what you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
So if you want a good partner, be a good partner. You get me I say? Just give what you want.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
But how would you compare dating in the States to Jamaica though? Like, tell me about your experience dating locally.
The Jamaican random. You know what? With them, the ones that I have dated here, I can say they never had a problem with if I was highly educated or I had a good job or anything. Like, they never cared about that type of thing. Like, they just always knew that I'm the man. Whether she could have 100 work, but me and the man, I'm gonna make it known, say, me and the man.
That's your experience.
That was my experience with like men here.
Oshagwana, just write down the coordinates to the place where you find them man there for a woman them where they night comments and ask for them man there be. Some men may not have been as vocal, but I know women that have experienced that. When you're highly career oriented, there's somewhat of a imposter syndrome that these women are seeing in the men that they're dating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, the least of things that man might think, and this is not always the case, but some men, they sort of feel like, oh, you're talking down to me now.
Yeah.
Or you feel like you're better than me because X or Y or Z. And I'm like, really and truly, if you have an imposter syndrome, it means that you identify some kind of lacking in yourself and you need to pull up your socks and do the do. So it's kind of complex. Relationships are complex.
They are.
Yeah, just one of them things.
God no. Why? I feel like more in a long distance relationship. I feel like so far the foreign man in my force me to do with a Jamaican man. That's so rough.
All right. Well, you never know. You're in New York, you know, there are a lot of, well, there used to be a lot of Jamaicans. Mr. Trump.
Danny, Uncle Danny.
Yeah.
At work.
All right. So it's been what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since
him coming?
Yeah. About 2 weeks. Thereabout. It's been 2 weeks. 20. And I tell you, there are some serious numbers in terms of the people being deported, people being picked up by ICE. What has the climate been like in New York from your experience since he's been in office, since ICE has been picking up people? Like, Also, you just came into the airport. What was that like? Did you notice any difference?
No.
No?
No.
What about New York?
For me,
Not-
where I saw the major difference was in church. A church where be Jamaican people
Yeah.
go. And Sunday afterwards, when I started going with them things, the church was empty.
Oh.
Yeah, like a church that's always full was empty, right? And I think those people got scared, right?
So people are staying.
Yeah, New York is very expensive. The rent is the most expensive, you know, utility or whatever. Because right now with rent, they are forcing people to have roommates. A single person, unless you're making good amount of money, like you can't afford to have an apartment and pay rent, pay bills, live comfortably. Like you just can't.
The takeaway from this is, if you're gonna move to the States, you don't have to settle.
No.
Right? Just be prepared, because you did your studies, you got your work experience, you went over there and you applied. You said earlier you were a professional interviewee.
Yeah, I did a lot of interviews. I did so many interviews. I started thinking, hey, maybe I should get paid for doing interviews. Like before and I'm kind of glad that I did them because before I had a problem with public speaking. I never liked like talking in crowds. Like I never envisioned myself under this a few years ago. Like no, never like hear the sound of my own voice. You know, like doing that. And doing interviews, I got more comfortable with like talking to people, getting grilled by people, and I even did like an online course with like helping you with public speaking.
So there we go. Be prepared.
Yeah, you guys can do. You can use I think it's Coursera. I have done 2 online courses too in immigration. So I did one with immigration law just recently. Actually, I got a certificate in immigration law
Kudos
over
to you.
there.
See that?
Yeah.
She's preparing for the next chapter.
For the next one. Listen,
Yo,
y'all, you
love
gotta.
that.
There are free resources over there. All of this free. So just use up what America. You know, not sitting and talk about America salt. No, salt like Elsha. America done. America don't done. Use it up. Use up the chance. Use up everything it's free. America has a lot of free resources that you can make use of. Get them 100 certificate there. Them can go on your resume. If you don't have like a degree, you can do those courses.
And those add up.
Those add up.
Well, Phil, it was a pleasure sitting down with you today.
Yes, it was so nice.
Yo, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you.
No, come back, but I'll be back.
Definitely. And welcome, look for you one at a time. In
Yes.
New York.
You guys
Isn't
should.
it? You
Yes.
give me a tour around the place and ting.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It was so good talking to you.
Yeah, man. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Yay!